Hey, everybody. This is Jeff from Contractors Corner. We're coming to you from the terminal at Greer, South Carolina, and we're going to do another Q&A session for the Swift Owner Operator Program. And along with me and Charlie, today we have Michelle Cantrell and Joanna Sims from the Owner Operator Recruiting Department. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the questions we had last time with some of the specials that they're running and the down payment situation, the MRP lease, and some things that'll answer some of those questions you had last time that we just didn't know. So one of you two, would you like to start off with that MRP? Because we had the biggest question we had last time was, what about down payments? You know, am I going to have to fork out my $2,500 for this? What's the deal?
Go ahead, Joanna. That's your baby.
Okay. So the MRP has no down payment. We actually have a special running right now where there's no truck payment for almost 8 weeks. It's about 50 days that you have no truck payment for. The truck payments are generally $415 a week, and it's a 3-year lease. At the end of 3 years, you can purchase the truck for between $10,000 to $15,000. So it's a great way to own your truck if you want. You also have a warranty program that you pay into by the mile, and this gives you some security and stability to know that you can trust the truck that you're leasing.
All right. And Michelle, I overheard you talking about an exciting new opportunity for guys that want to bring a truck in from the outside.
Oh, yeah. We've got a new outside truck bonus. When you bring in a truck outside of Swift, you know, whether you are a company driver with us currently or an applicant looking to join Swift, you will get a $5,000 outside truck bonus over time. After your first 500 miles, you get the first $1,000. Then it's 5,000 miles, another $1,000. 10,000 miles, another $1,000, and then again at 15 and 30,000 miles. So you're looking, you know, about in 3 months, you should have the entire $5,000.
Okay, so for those people that are interested in that, you know, you have to be a new applicant, though.
No,
right?
No, you could be a company driver, or if you're an owner operator replacing a truck, it doesn't matter. If it's an outside truck that's not ours, then it's $5,000.
Okay.
Oh, well, that kind of changes the way that I look at that too. So, all right.
You want to buy a truck?
No, I'm good right now. I got one. That's pretty much all I want to handle right at this point.
Come on, man. You've done it before.
I know some really good dealers, Charlie. There's a Pete store across the road.
Right. No, they're too new for me. Hey, so with what are some of the big hurdles that you guys are seeing from your end on this stuff? I mean, the questions that you guys get every day, other than are you on percentage? Because we know that's a big one right now. But we know that that's something that Swift is working on. Brett's talked about it. That, you know, that they're working toward a percentage program because we're going to need to go that way anyhow at some point. So, but besides that question, because it's coming, guys. And the load board is very close. We're getting better. It's in its infancy. But beside those two major questions, which I know it's you know, oh my gosh, what are the big questions you guys are getting on a regular basis that seems to be hurdles or things like that? They're just regular questions you get every day. Excuse me.
Well, I think that.
Go ahead.
The biggest question would be qualifications. What do you have to qualify to be an owner operator? So we look for some experience. We want, right now it's a year experience, but if you have a great safety record and you have good miles, you know, it's possible that we could qualify you a little bit earlier than 1 year. We look definitely at the safety record. No major accidents in the last 2 years. We don't want any more than one preventable accident in the past 24 months.
Yeah, I just want to point out from Charlie and I's experience, what Swift is asking for those qualifications. that's for your benefit as well as someone coming into the owner operator program, because some of this stuff, if you're not already meeting that minimum level of proficiency as a driver, your chance for success goes down. So a lot of times when we talk to these people about, okay, what's your current what's your current requirements, and we're looking at going, well, yeah, I mean, if you're not doing that, chances are the guy's gonna not do so well. And he's gonna be unhappy, and he's gonna call us and call us names and all that stuff. People that are making those requirements, or maybe you're not, and you work to get to that level that you need to be, your chance of success just went way up. So it's not anybody being mean, you know. The trucking business, it's not like buying a used car here. You know, you're buying a piece of equipment that's going to make you money over the long term,
and hopefully last you 2 million miles.
Like Charley's truck is looking like it's going to.
I'm working on it.
So you got to have that mindset of, look, these two ladies right here, they're telling me that I need to do this, and they've been working with owner operators for a long time, so they see what's needed. Part of their job description, whether they like it or not, is consultant. So, you know, let them consult when they tell you something. Hey, man, look, this is the deal. Listen to them, and then you can bounce that off of guys that have already been through it, and they'll tell you, yeah, they're right. You need to be doing this, and this, and you'll make your money, and you'll be happy, and you'll have your freedom. All those things that we became owner operators to do. So,
hey, so I actually got a question that popped up. I don't know who it is. It's just showing Facebook user, but they're saying, so I've been leasing for about 4.5 years. This is my second truck. I'd like to purchase this truck at the end of the lease. Can I just go into an MRP, finish out the lease that way, and do my down payment and own the truck?
Well, we do have some exciting things coming. They'll start with the next year's trucks, you know, end of lease trucks. Right now, we started purchasing trucks in 2019. So when those trucks come to the end of the lease, we have options because we own the truck. It doesn't matter. We can do what we want with it because it's already owned by Swift. So the plan is, right now anyway, the plan is to let the drivers go into an MRP type situation after that, so they can continue to finish and purchase their truck out and keep it. And then they'll have that maintenance support of that maintenance repair program to back them up, you know, during the buyout period.
So then that's not going to be available for an existing lease that they have right now? Again, we started buying the trucks in 2018. Some of the Kenworths, the financing there, it's not doable. Gotcha.
But
So on this individual's case, I don't know who it was. What kind of options are they looking at right now then? I mean, is it something maybe he should reach out to you guys specifically and talk to about, or?
They could call Becky at IEL, the person that handles the end of lease, and she should be able to answer their questions or give them an idea of when she would have an answer for that.
Am I still having technical difficulty?
No, you're good, Michelle.
Okay. So with that too, that we're being told that they'll look at maintenance records and how you've taken care of your truck over the course of your lease as well. You know, we're not going to want to worry with a truck that's not been repaired properly and trying to go into the MRP situation if you haven't been taking care of your truck, because, you know, then midstream your truck's going to blow up and we're going to be stuck.
Right. So
we're going to look at your records if you want to finance.
Good, solid records. Right. Okay. And I'm assuming that I've heard recently that it's actually hard to finance some of these trucks now because of whether it's maintenance that they're not doing, they're not keeping good records. Maybe they're struggling to make the weeks, you know, here and there. And so, you know, the MRP program, I'm digging it. I just like the way that it's set up. I mean, it's kind of built for people to win from. I've never been a fan of the old lease program. You guys know that. Everybody knows that. I tell everybody, go buy a truck. Don't lease a truck. But at least with the MRP program, I feel a little more comfortable talking about it because it's actually built for ownership at the end, right? You know what I mean? It just feels like you're actually going to own something at the end that's not going to cost you a house at the end after you've already paid on it for 4 years.
So a Facebook user came back in to clarify his truck is a 2019.
Yeah, so he's got a real good possibility that he'll be able to do that.
Cool. So I'm not sure what your name is.
From what they're telling me and the things we've been discussing. So if you've got 2019, so you're this is your second lease, and the light bulbs come on for you. For me, it took 3, by the way, at least 3 trucks from IL before I finally decided to buy one. Make sure you're keeping those records for maintenance, because it sounds like that's going to be a key point for you if you want to convert to the MRP at the end of your lease so that you can own the truck. Make sure that you keep good records on that. I know what Swift's going to say, because I've been around for a while. Oh, just do your maintenance at the Swift shop and it's all going to be there. That's one way to do it. Or you could keep a file folder like I did and just keep all your maintenance records in it, because someday if I ever sell the truck, they're going to want to see that.
So I got a question for you, both of you, Joanna and Michelle. Someone like me and Jeff, Jeff's getting into doing his own maintenance and things like that. What kind of records are you guys going to need if someone is doing their own maintenance on one of the non-MRP trucks, and they're doing their oil changes and doing the basic servicing? I've always told people, keep receipts for everything you do and keep a ledger as far as what you're doing. I mean, is that something that might actually cover them on that? It
should. I mean, it's something that we're going to look at individually, but if you've got your receipts, tacked on with even just, a schedule where you said 2/21, right, oil change and have some receipts, then 6/21 oil change and some receipts. I mean, that should suffice.
Okay. And then with the MRP program, go ahead.
On the Swift portal, you can actually pull up a monthly maintenance report, which asks those specific questions. Per the contract, if you're going to do services outside of Swift, you really should be keeping track monthly, and it's supposed to be turned into Swift on a monthly basis. We don't enforce it because it's not something that we're really all that interested in until it becomes the end of the lease. And actually, it's the leasing company that needs that, not Swift.
Gotcha. What the hell? It's crazy. Is TV going or something? I don't know. Anyhow, so totally distracted me. Sorry. Where were we going there?
Squirrel. Squirrel. Jeff, save me.
I gotta fix this.
Okay,
be right back. Oh my gosh, I don't know what just happened.
So the conversion from traditional lease to MRP lease, that so you were saying to me earlier today, Joanna, we were talking about the different lease options that are currently available, and they've got the MRP lease, they've got a used truck lease, which is not an MRP lease, and then they got the brand spanking new shiny truck lease, right? That's right. Those are the 3 deals right now.
Right. We also have where you can convert your truck from a company truck to an owner-operator truck called FX. So really, there's
okay. So again, Charlie's going to bang the drum on that. Own a truck, buy it from outside, bring it in, do your own maintenance, become a mechanic.
Absolutely.
Forget the planners. Just call the customers yourself and arrange loads for Swift, all that stuff.
Because that'd be awesome.
So most of us and I'm just going to put this out there, and it's going to hurt Charlie's feelings a little bit, I know, but some of us live in the real world and have crap credit. We don't have any money, but we want to be in business because we see the potential, and that's where these lease programs come in. When I started out at Swift as a company driver years ago, I was at the point to where I was going to lose my house. And within a year, I was driving a brand new T2000 because I did all the right things. And I should have bought that truck, but I didn't, because I have this thing called shiny new thing syndrome, which these 2 ladies love guys like me, because every 4 years I buy a truck. But but yeah, that's the potential, from almost being homeless to owner operator within 12 months. If you're doing everything right, even if you're starting out like I did, where no credit because I had lost a job and hadn't worked for a year, get into it, do the right things, and you can still be in business. You can still get that freedom that most of us go into this for. I mean, the money is one thing, but Charley and I will both tell you, what I love about it is I'm in Greer, South Carolina right now. I live around Portland, Oregon, and if I wanted to, I could get in my truck that's parked outside here and just go home. If I wanted to do that, which would be really unwise because that would cost a little bit in fuel, but it's nice to know that I can. And, as long as I'm not taking a piece of Swift equipment with me, they would frown on that, taking a trailer all the way across the country. But, I could do that if I have a family emergency, weddings, funerals, whatever. That's
Want to go fishing?
Yeah. I mean, Oregon, right?
Right.
All that freight we have, somebody be chasing you.
Okay.
Well, that has happened to me before, Michelle, where I am one of those people. I do not miss Christmas. I've got 6 kids, by the way, you guys. So anybody that tells you can't make a living as a truck driver, they're full of it. I raised 6 kids on this job. And I have a house. So, yeah, I've had them go after me and say, hey, we do have freight, guy, because I do not miss Christmas. And I have started my bobtail trip from up to 1,000 miles away from the house because I don't miss Christmas. And almost every time I do that, I do get that call. Hey, guy, we do have freight. And I say, hey, guy, you should have given it to me. Where is it? I'll go get it. So come hell or high water, though, I get home for Christmas. So
what are some of the other major questions you guys are getting when these guys are calling?
Oh, there's tons. The smart drive cameras is an issue. Drivers, they're all asking about the cameras. The parameters are set differently for owners than it is for company.
Right.
But the smart drive is a good tool to save the driver's backside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yes, it can get you into trouble.
Right.
But,
I'm a huge advocate.
And, you're aware of what your parameters are, you shouldn't have any problems. Because you know what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah,
I'm a huge advocate of run your own camera that you manage and someone's not kind of micromanaging you. It's not worth. Look, the big selling point for some of these guys on the camera is, you get to do 72. Really?
There goes your fuel.
I get to spend more money. All right, great. I want to drive 60 miles an hour and save a couple bucks and increase my fuel mileage and save that 10 grand a year and go to Vegas. That's just me. So. Whatever. To each their own. If you want to drive fast, just expect to pay more in fuel. And like I said, the difference between 70 miles an hour and 60 miles an hour on a solo guy is about $7,000-8,000 on a team. It could be anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a year in fuel mileage lost. And so, that's just crazy. So one of the other things that we hear a lot is the fuel card. Well, I don't like their fuel card because Swift gets all the discounts. And so one of the things that, we tell people all the time is, well, okay, get your own fuel card. Go out to NASTC, go out to, wherever I've heard of several other things and things like that. Is that still the case? I mean, is anyone going to frown on you for doing that as long as you're submitting your fuel receipts every month and all that? Is it a monthly submittal? Is it weekly? Can they submit every receipt every day they get it? How should they be handling that stuff?
They should be submitting it by the trip. And the only benefit is that they get the fuel taxes. Since we calculate the fuel taxes, we don't want to double charge them. So they need to submit it by the trip. But by all means, if you can get a bigger discount, I wouldn't discourage getting your own fuel card.
Okay. And back to the outside truck. So what are the year requirements as far as guys bringing a truck in? Can they bring in a 1987 long nose Pete that, gets 3 miles per gallon?
Probably not. The rule is 2014 or newer. However, pictures, some records, if you've had some work done, like if you've had a if you had that 1987 Pete and it's got, the engine redone and you've got receipts to prove it, we might look at it. So don't ever, think that, they Swift won't take me because, you take care of your truck and you should have pride in your equipment. We might.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you got next, Jeff?
Me? I got nothing, man.
Oh, okay. What the heck, man? So,
Right.
okay. So we talked about the MRP. We talked about leasing. So if they want to lease a brand new truck, they're looking at what? What is it? It's $2,500. Did we touch on that?
Right.
If
If
they
it's
actually want to go
2,500
that route?
up front for if you want to order a truck, and you can order any color you want.
But that's
Number two.
2,500. But they used to be, like $100 a week or whatever. No. You need to cut a check.
And I'm sure you've noticed at the terminals, we don't stage trucks out for sale like we used to.
Right.
So now the deal is, if you want a brand new truck, you bring me $2,500, I'll order your truck, and we'll see it in 90 days.
That's not too
Now
bad.
there
I
are
guess.
times that, like in Phoenix right now, we have two 2022 Freightliners. If you want one of those, they're company flips, but you can
Okay.
get into those for $1,500 up front, and then we'll finance the other $1,000 at $100 a week.
All right. So if you want shiny new, there's a couple sitting out there waiting for you right
it's
now.
hard to wait. It's hard to wait
Right.
90 days.
Yeah, it would make me nuts. I'm not gonna lie. I need instant gratification. I've got money. I want it now, yesterday.
Yeah, but if you want, pink with purple polka dots, you got to wait 90 days.
And that's how I'm gonna roll. That's it. It's the only way I'm going to a different truck. All right. So then on the MRP program, explain to me more of the maintenance requirements as far as, what's required there. As far as my understanding is, they have to use Swift approved shops. Does that specifically mean a Swift shop?
It does. It is a Swift approved shop that you have to use. The maintenance, you're required to set 5 cents a mile aside for just maintenance. And that money, once you reach $3,000 in that account, you can have it cut off. We want to make sure that in a year from now, when you need tires, you have that money in your maintenance account, because that's not going to be something that's covered under warranty.
And what sort of things, and I'm not asking for an exact list, but what kind of things are under the warranty, like drivetrain, things like that, or what all is involved there?
So the warranty would cover most minor repairs for mechanical type issues, and there's going to be no charge. The worst case scenario is you have an engine blow in 2.5 years.
Oh my
and
gosh.
If that happened, then the worst case scenario is you have 20% of that cost to pay, which you hopefully would have in your maintenance account to cover. IEL is really good about taking care of the customers. We have rental trucks available. We're not going to just let you sit there on the side of the road because your truck's broke down.
And
we just had a conversation with the guy that had come in from a different carrier, and that's what happened to him, is that carrier where he was leasing his truck before, they didn't have rentals, they didn't have loaners, nothing. And his truck was in the shop for a month and the bank took it back. But he had no recourse. It was just, they didn't have anything for him to drive unless he wanted to lease another truck. So that safety net is there at IEL, which is pretty nice.
We have done some really great things lately. I have a driver, for instance, that brought in an outside truck, just purchased the truck, did maybe 3 or 4 loads, and needed a $6,000 repair. And I think he bought it from an individual versus a dealership, so he had no warranty or any kind of backup there. So what we did is we put him in a rental for a couple weeks. He wants to save the money to bring his truck back. So what they allowed us to do is we took an older truck that was in the system. We did a short-term lease for him. And when his truck is repaired, we're going to take our lease truck back. And he can get back in his truck and go. Not anybody's going to just do that, just give you a lease and tell you, hey, you can have it for 6 months and just bring it back. We'll take care of it.
Right. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, with IEL owning the trucks, they've been able to be a lot more flexible on the terms of the lease. of the pricing on the lease. Even we have some of the lowest prices we have ever had at Swift for a lease payment, or eventually to own a truck. $415 is not a huge truck payment at all. And I think
Right.
Jeff can probably attest to $600+ a week for just the truck payment.
Yeah. My buyout is at 600. My lease was $50 more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's something I'll bring up, because your deal where you can flip over to the MRP lease. So I was one of the last people, I think, that got the financing from Swift for that balloon payment. And I've thought a lot about this, run some of the numbers. My interest rate on that balloon payment at IEL is 15%. So when you run the numbers, flipping over to an MRP rather than doing the buyout option like I did, you're saving about $5,000 on the whole thing because of the lack of interest.
Right.
So, and I'll just put in there too that the $3,000 mandatory maintenance account's great, but Charley and I do recommend about 30.
Yep.
Just because over time, over 4, 5, 6, 10 years, $30,000, $35,000 is about what it costs to do an in-frame on my truck, which is going to be coming here in about a year and a half.
Right.
So
the older the truck, the larger the bill.
right. And so if you know that ahead of time and you can discipline yourself, that's where you stay in business. Is right now you can save $200 a week towards it, or you could have to go borrow money from 5 different banks to get a new engine in your truck when the time comes. Good luck with that.
Right.
So everybody has this dream of owning a truck, and we love owning trucks, but there's responsibility that goes with it. And I think people need to really internalize that in their brain. We do have a follow-up question, which you two are just going to love. I could tell right now.
Tell them no, I'm so sorry. No manual trucks.
So if we have to come up with $2,500 cash up front now before the truck is ordered, are we able to order manual transmissions on the new truck? I have my opinion on the manual transmissions. Charlie's got a different opinion on those transmissions. And
Completely
these two ladies sell
opposing.
trucks that are auto shifts. So I'm with them. I love my auto shift. I got to tell you, I drove the manuals most of my career. I did a lot of research. I could have gotten the 10-speed when I ordered this truck that I'm in now. And at this point, you can't pull me out of it, dude. I'm sorry, but they're more efficient. Half a mile per gallon better just because of the transmission. I mean, come on, that's $5,000 a year.
So the official answer is
No way, Jose.
dang. Well, look, I like my manual transmission. I don't like the autos. I know so many people who just love them, and they're like, man, you'll never go back. And I'm like, I'm just not going there now, as long as I can avoid it. Look, but keep in mind, I just spent $10,000 to replace my transmission at 1.5 million miles. So I'm going to be in this one for a little bit longer still. I think I got a couple more miles out of this one since I made it 1.5. Let's if I make another million out of it, I'm good. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we have a truck for you. Always.
Yeah. No, you sold the one I wanted already. The big T2000. You told me
yeah.
you sold it. I can't have that one. So, I'm sorry.
Big purple Barney. Yeah.
Hi, Tina. We see you there. You're awesome. I don't care what anyone says about you. You're all right. So we talked about the maintenance program and our best. But what Jeff and I think is, that $30,000 to $35,000 fund to cover anything that may pop up later on. For me, I could replace my entire truck for $35,000. I can replace a motor, I can replace a transmission, I can have one drop ship somewhere and good to go, and I can literally replace the entire truck. The value of my truck's between $30,000 and $40,000, depending on what the market's doing today or tomorrow. So I mean. That's where we come up with that number, and on the newer trucks, a motor could cost you $25,000, and even the most new. Listen to me, the newest motors out there. I mean, they really are $35,000 just to replace that motor. If it happened to go some crazy sideways thing, I mean, those things are not something to blink at. So having things like this MRP program and that warranty really do seem like a solid way to keep you safer for a while. I'm not big on warranties. I mean, everybody knows that listens to me. You know, warranty is not a selling point for me because I don't like being the last guy in line. So I pay cash and I tend not to be the last guy in line. But just starting out, it really is kind of a helpful thing to one less thing you have to worry about should something catastrophic happen with your motor, your transmission, things like that. So yeah, I really am digging this MRP program, and it's not that I don't get anything out of saying that, you know, and if I didn't like it, I wouldn't say it. Jeff was, you know, adamantly opposed to the regular leases and would not get behind that program. And he's, you know, dipped into this MRP contract, and both of us have looked over it. You know, I don't even know how many times at this point. We just keep looking at like, really, this is all right. You know, it's not so bad. And I'm really glad that IEL and Swift have come up with this program, because I think it's going to be it lowers that bar to entry and gives people a little more realistic start, as opposed to starting with a brand new truck. I just don't think anyone should start out with a brand new truck. I think it seems like a recipe for disaster if that's your very first truck. I mean, granted, that's how I started and was lucky, but I had a plan that was set up before I got in that truck. You know, Jeff didn't have a long-term plan that I saw, but, you know, from when he started, other than he needed to do something and he needed to make things happen. And you know, sure, stubbornness and determination is what got him where he is. And I've had that a couple times in some things. So yeah, it's nice to have for sure. And I like that, you know, the buyouts or the balloon payments on the end of those are, you know, between 10 and 15 instead of $58,000 or $60,000, because that's a hard pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we lost your sound, Joanna. Technical difficulties. Nope.
Do you hear?
All right. Well, she figures that out.
She'll be back.
Yeah. Right. So we talked about the bonus program for outside trucks coming in. Is there any incentives for, I don't know, referrals or anything like that going on right now, or?
Unfortunately, no. However, you know, for all of us recruiters, if, you know, you send to somebody, we've got some really sweet swag that we'll be glad to give you.
Hey, look, I love getting new hats. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not
Come
even
see me.
gonna like it. Yeah. Sorry, I just got a question. This one came through. Can you turn a current lease truck at the end of the lease in an MRP if it's over 450K? So we actually touched on that a minute ago, Matt, and that came from Matthew right into a PM. But what they had said was, you know what, I'm going to let you touch on that real quick, Michelle, just so you can reiterate that. It's got to be a 2019 or newer.
Yeah, that's when we started actually purchasing the units, but the mileage doesn't matter. You know, you're
so
looking at
mileage
an
isn't a
end of lease,
factor.
you're probably looking at about 480,000 anyway. You know, if you do your,
I love that Swift has changed its mind on that. The mileage doesn't matter. What matters is, did you take care of the truck?
all right.
Did we get you back, Joanna? We did not.
Okay.
She's making faces at us.
But you know, you do look good, and you know, you look, you talk, and I'll be your sound. Hi there, I'm Joanna Sims.
Now,
Yay,
There
there
you
you
go.
are. Welcome back.
all right. Oh, what I was saying about the MRP, the purchase price, was that it is a lot easier to save $100 a week so that you have the money at the end of the lease, rather than trying to come up with $60,000 or trying to finance $60,000. So if you can discipline yourself, you'll have that money at the end of the lease and be able to just straight purchase it out, which is an awesome deal.
Yeah, no doubt, and that is a huge thing. I mean, if you can squirrel away $50, $100 a week, heck, if you squirreled away 25 a week at the end of 3 years, you should be pretty close if you can't cover the whole thing already. So, and that's just not a huge chunk. If you can't squirrel away $25 a week while running your business, you might want to.
Well, you have to look at it this way as
Adjust.
well. The MRP program, what do drivers do at the end of their lease more often than not? What
Turn
money
in
they
that
do
truck.
have saved, they're putting it into maintenance and repairs.
Right.
And they're always worried about, am I going to make it to the end of my lease? Because I'm breaking down all the time. I'm spending nickel and dime here, trying to keep my truck on the road. With the MRP program and that support you have with that maintenance, you should be able to save that money because you're not going to be coming out of pocket as much
Right.
as you would on a regular lease.
That actually
Right.
brings another question for me. On the MRP, let's say they go the 3 years and for whatever crazy reason they decide they don't want to keep that truck. Is it like the old program? They
Just
just
like
turn
the
it
other,
back
they
in
don't
and-
have to.
Wow. Boy, that would hurt my feelings. Be 10 grand away from ownership and just walk away. Oh my Lord.
Then I'm going to buy
Okay.
it and sell it to you.
Right? For real. Like I may take that one.
Well, I'm going to charge you more than 11,000 though.
That's all right. That's fair market value, right?
The Charlie's tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So is there anything else you guys want to touch on? Anything you want to focus on or anything like that? Or you guys
Not for me,
tell
but
us.
I'm always available anytime you want to talk.
Here,
Same
let's
here,
put some
but
numbers up too.
I've got some advice for anyone who wants to be an owner operator. You've got to look into it and you've got to plan. You've got to plan to be successful. And Michelle and I are going to swap places.
You like that?
But you've got to plan to be successful. And that would be my best advice to give, is just to plan for it.
Hey, you can't go wrong with proper planning. I mean, they do say man plans, God laughs. But look, set things up, set yourself up to be able to put yourself in a position where you can start taking care of you and your business. And remember, if you're not taking care of the business will never take care of you. And that's just, you can blame a lot of people for what you do, but the bottom line is typically when it comes to your business, what goes wrong is your responsibility. You need to figure this out. You need to work with people, ask questions. Jeff and I are available all the time. Michelle and Joanna are just a wealth of knowledge. They've been around this for a good long time. And I just, these are two people that I absolutely trusted in the company. There's not a lot of people that I will put my name on and say, look, these people, I believe every word that they tell me. And they've never done me wrong. And I've leased 3 trucks from Joanna. Yes, I have not completed not one of those leases. They were all plans to do something else, and they got me to those things, and we moved on. But they're just, I don't hear bad things about them. I'm not going to speak about anyone else. I'm just saying that these two are the two that I go to. If I can't get a hold of Joanna, Michelle's the next one on my text list, and I'm tapping that button. Michelle, I need help. And they've always been there to help me out. So, if you want to talk to people about this that are going to give you the real scoop, they're not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, they're going to be nice to you because, that's what they do, and they're professional. But they're going to give you the real deal. They're not going to feed you a bunch of crap and say, oh, you're going to make $1 million this year. And, and as soon as you sign the lease, they're like, what was your name? So, nobody likes that. You got anything, Jeff?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything we were thinking.
Any last words, ladies?
Give us a call.
Yeah.
Oh, let me put those numbers up one more time.
Call me.
So you got Joanna Sims, 623-907-7430. Michelle Cantrell, 864-968-7605. By all means, reach out to these ladies. They will take care of you. They're not going to mess you over or tell you any lies or anything like that. So thanks, guys, for joining us. Joanna, Michelle, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys doing this and taking time out of your day. And look at her. She just poof, she left. And
She's
ran.
screw with you.
And Jeff, thanks. Like always, man, I'm glad we're getting to hang out this week and do some stuff.
Yeah. And
Well, see me more often.
Definitely.
absolutely. Yeah. And and we'll get some more materials out from our group, Contractors Corner, as you guys are thinking more about leasing, and you're talking to Michelle and Joanna about trucks, and we can help you with some of that as far as how do you actually run a business. And we'll have more contact information for us as we bring that project forward too.
Don't forget the channel, Swift Contractors Corner on YouTube. You can find us in the Facebook groups as well. Same place you're seeing us right now. And if you guys have any questions or comments, leave those comments below. And if you're watching this after we were live, we'll come back and answer more questions. And feel free to PM us, whatever you want to do. And we will get you the answers. If we don't have them, we know people that have them. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks so much. And we hope to see you next time on Contractors Corner. Thanks, guys.
See you soon.